From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily from Monday, September 30th. We're still dealing with the remnants of Helene here in Indiana. Much better, though, today. It's going to be more of a spotty shower. Could stick around through Tuesday, not nearly the heavy stuff that we saw this weekend. The good news is things get better midweek.
Whether you're scouring business financial sites or listening to economics podcasts like this one till your ears ring, you'll find there's no surefire secret to successfully managing your company's finances for the future. It turns out you might just need to pair with PNC Corporate and Institutional Banking, whose team of dedicated relationship managers bring 160 years of experience, pragmatic advice, and an array of tools and tech to scale to any size business. In fact, they're so tuned in to what you need, they knew you'd be listening to this podcast. As for that ringing in your ears, that's the brilliant sound of success. PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC and PNC Bank are registered marks of the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., PNC. Copyright 2024, the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
Breaking news on the city's northwest side. Police say a pedestrian is dead after a hit-and-run crash. It happened just after 6 this morning near Gateway Drive and North High School Road, just east of 465. IMPD had North High School Road closed for some time between Gateway Drive and Commons Drive. Police are trying to figure out where the driver is. Also breaking this morning, an 18-year-old woman has died after a shooting in Beech Grove. Last night, police were first called to River Ridge Drive near South Arlington Avenue and 465 for a shooting, but Beech Grove's police chief tells us that the victim was brought there after police think she was shot in a neighborhood on Sagebrush Avenue. This morning, police say 18-year-old Michaela Sue Bauman died from her injuries. Police say they are still looking for suspects. Investigators are urging anyone with information to call Beech Grove Police. Power outage numbers tell two very different stories this morning. There are significant problems in Indianapolis, while the rest of the state has nearly no outages. As of 7 this morning, AES reported more than 7,100 homes and businesses were in the dark, nearly 3 days after intense wind from Helene knocked down power lines in many places. Around the rest of the state, Duke Energy and Indiana Michigan Power report roughly 200 to 300 total outages. At the peak of the problems, more than 115,000 people across the state had no electricity. The latest update from AES says 94 crews are working nonstop to restore power. The utility says the extent of the damage and the number of individual outages are slowing the work. Power crews from Massachusetts are coming to help the city. AES says it expects to have most of the power back to normal by tomorrow. Authorities now confirm at least 91 storm deaths from Hurricane Helene. The storm brought massive flooding to several areas that rarely, if ever, have such concerns. At least 30 people have died in North Carolina, and authorities warn that that number is certain to climb. The area around Asheville is especially hard hit. Helicopters are airlifting supplies to people cut off by washed out roads. Authorities there say crews went on more than 150 rescue missions over the weekend. There's also widespread damage in South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, Virginia, and Georgia. Indiana Task Force 1 is now headed from Georgia to North Carolina to respond to the ever-evolving situation. The team says in an update that members completed their assigned missions in Florida, relocated to Georgia, and are now responding to North Carolina. Pictures from Task Force 1 show some of the work the team did in Florida, clearing some of the widespread debris there. In Colts watch, the Colts held off the late Steelers' surge to win 27-24, despite losing quarterback Anthony Richardson to an injury in the first quarter. It happened with the Colts already leading 7-0. Richardson, with a run up the middle, takes a hard shot to his hip as he's brought down. He was helped off the field and tried to come back during the Colts' next series, but only lasted for one more play before leaving the rest of the game. Veteran backup Joe Flacco came in, and the Colts held on for the win, despite that late comeback from the Steelers. Big question for Colts fans now is how long Richardson might be out, and will the team have to rely on Flacco instead? News 8's Andrew Chernoff heard from both quarterbacks after the game.
Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson spent the majority of Sunday's game right over there on the Indianapolis sidelines. He injured himself in the first quarter against the Steelers, hurting his hip, and did not return. Instead, veteran QB Joe Flacco filled in as quarterback for the Colts, helping Indy hang on to get a 3-point victory over the Steelers. handing Pittsburgh its first loss of the season.
Talking to Tony Dungy, when I got hired, just still being aggressive, even with the lead, not taking your foot off the gas until a certain moment in the game. Learning that from him, so I won't get into the moment when that happens. But you still want to be aggressive there. And I thought our guys shoot all game, but to get that 17-0 lead, and obviously they got back into it a little bit, but our guys, we found a way to win. That's the National Football League.
I was looking forward to going back out there with my squad. I wanted to contribute to the W. I think I did it a little bit, but I wanted to be out there the whole time. But shout out to my guys for getting the W today.
We're still trying to figure things out both ways, deal with what we have to deal with, and then go out there and get a victory. So there's definitely a positive when you get wins and you can stack them and guys start to feel confident because you will play better based off of that.
There's no better position to be in football than on the field with the last 2 minutes ready to close the game, and we did just that. We ride this confidence all the way through the season. Just coming in and understanding that we one of those teams that's going to always fight, that got heart, and we dedicated to our craft and what we stand on and what we said we was going to do. And having guys like that who believe in what they say and do what they say is always the sky's the limit, bro.
Colts fans will now have to wait to see if Anthony Richardson will be good to go next Sunday when the Colts take on the Jaguars down in Jacksonville, a place that Indy has not won since 2014. Inside Lucas Oil Stadium, Andrew Chernoff, Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
IU's stunning run to start the college football season has landed the Hoosiers in a spot in the top 25. The weekend 42-28 win over Maryland has the team ranked 23rd in the AP poll and 24th in the coaches poll. It's the first time IU has been in the top 25 since early 2021. IU has not been 5-0 since the school's only Rose Bowl season in 1967. Purdue's stumbling start is leading to a major change. The team's offensive coordinator is out. An announcement came in the hours following the Boilermakers' loss Saturday, which knocked them back 1-3 in the season and near the bottom of the Big Ten. Graham Harrell was in his second season leading Purdue's offense and was also the team's quarterbacks coach. Purdue has not said who will take his place. Boilermakers next take on Wisconsin and Madison on Saturday. Happening today, the city of Indianapolis honors Cole Hawker. He's the Cathedral grad who charged to one of the great upsets in the Summer Olympics, out-kicking the favorites in the men's 1500, setting an Olympic record and winning the gold.
So today, the city of Indianapolis recognizes Cole Hawker for his sensational speed, unmatched athleticism, and for bringing home an Olympic gold medal, inspiring not only people in Indianapolis, but athletes across the world. So now, therefore, I, Indy Mayor Joe, do hereby proudly proclaim September 30, 2024 as Cole Hawker Day in the city of Indianapolis.
Today, students at Rosa Parks Elementary School will walk to raise money in honor of one of their own classmates. It's part of the school's second annual Walk-a-thon for childhood cancer. News 8's Hernan Gutierrez is outside the school on the city's southwest side with how much money they're trying to raise.
Well, these students are looking to raise $5,000 throughout this month for Alex's Lemonade Stand. They're a nonprofit that helps battle childhood cancer. They're also doing it, as you guys mentioned, to honor one of their own classmates. We have Leonore Fromo. She's actually here with us right now. We also have Brittany Pasco. She's one of the teachers that kind of helped organize all of this. Ladies, good morning. Thank you for being here. Leonore, I'm going to start with you. You've been kind of on a mission this past year, telling all your classmates about what you went through. So tell us a little bit about that and what you're telling your classmates.
So practically, when I was 7, I had like leg pains that felt a little bit like growing pain, but they wouldn't go away. At one time, the entire class, well, most of it, was playing with one of those giant parachute things. And after the teacher had left to go and check on the other students, everybody started jumping really hard and I fell over. And that's when we started to notice that the leg pains were something off because they got a little bit worse after that. And after an x-ray, because of how bad it had been going, we discovered that there was a tangerine or little mandarin orange-sized tumor in my leg. And after 11 months of chemotherapy and being in the hospital, I finally got to ring the bell to go home. and that was great.
Leonor, you're a rock star. Thanks for telling us a little bit about your story. And Brittany, tell me a little bit about what it's like to kind of organize all of her classmates to do something like this.
So this started last year when Leonor was my student, and her mom reached out for us to just do a Go for Gold dress down day, and I do project-based learning in my classroom, so I thought we could take it a step further and partner with Alex's Lemonade Stand, and they had an event coordinator reach out to the kids asking them to hold an actual event that would have something to do with their Millie Mile campaign and selling lemonade, and so they came up with this amazing idea of having a walk-a-thon, and this year they're hoping to do it even bigger and even better. There's lemonade and cornhole tournaments and friendship bracelets and a wall of hope that they're going to build with artwork that the kids make while they're out here. So this is all student-led. My students have done all of the work. They've researched some of the symptoms of childhood cancer and what it's like to have childhood cancer and go through treatment, and Leonor's been a big inspiration for them. She came in and taught them this year about what it's like to go through treatment and chemotherapy and how isolating and lonely that can feel. So the students are going to be out here just in a few minutes setting up all of their booths, all of their tables, and marking the miles and ready to figure out how much money they can raise today. So we're really excited.
Leonor, Brittany, both of you, thank you for being here this morning. Really appreciate it. Reporting in Indianapolis, I'm Hernan Gutierrez for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
The threat of strikes on several major American ports has experts predicting shortages. They say chocolate, alcohol, bananas, cherries, and possibly cars could get more expensive in the months ahead. Strike deadline is less than a day away. It's set for 1 minute after midnight tonight. Union workers are threatening to walk off the job at 36 facilities from Maine to Texas. The International Longshoremen's Association is calling for raises and a pledge to keep in place a ban on some fully automated equipment.
Looking back, it's a pretty amazing ride. I wouldn't have been doing any of the other things of the performing if I weren't a writer. They wouldn't have hired me for my voice.
Chris Christopherson has died. He was one of the most influential entertainers of his era, a singing songwriter, an actor who walked a path much different than many of his peers. He was a Rhodes Scholar in college, then wrote several songs that have long become standards. Sunday Morning, Coming Down, Me and Bobby McGee, Help Me Make It Through the Night, and more. He also teamed up with Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, and Waylon Jennings to form the supergroup The Highwaymen. His acting won awards. He earned a Golden Globe in 1976 for A Star is Born, co-starring with Barbra Streisand. His family says he died yesterday at his home in Hawaii. Chris Christopherson was 88 years old.
I'm telling you something, Doc, there were a couple moments when I felt like I actually did get through to you, and that's what kept giving me hope. I could feel that you were there somewhere. I could feel our love.
Legendary soap opera star Drake Hogestyn has died. The Fort Wayne native captivated daytime fans for 4 decades as John Black on Days of Our Lives. He won praises for his on-screen pairing with Dr. Marlena Evans, as well as his battles with the evil Stefano DiMera. He debuted on the show in 1986 and still starred in the NBC and Peacock soap until his death. His family says he died over the weekend after a battle with pancreatic cancer. Drake Hogestyn was 70 years old. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.